Yes. On Blu-ray. Was that hyped to watch it. Don't do the streaming thing. Physical copy. Physical stuff is way better. I don't support like Hulu, Netflix, and stuff like that. So yeah, was it worth it? Just got done watching it. Well, let's see. I was excited, mixed feelings, cause Rob Zombie. I like Rob Zombie, but then he wasn't my first choice. I would think of the one to do the Munsters because Munsters is lighthearted, family oriented, more stuff like that. So I didn't want to see like a gritty, dirty, filthy, gory, violent, sexual stuff, nudity, language, stuff like that throughout this. But then he said, you find out that he actually is like this big fan of the Munsters, and who can blame him? The Munsters, for me personally, I was always a Munsters over Addams Family type of person. I just love that show so much. Everybody in it, superb. And so I'm like, well, if he's that much of a fan, he said it was going to be PG. I'm like, okay, so I trust him. Being a fan, and in the end, it showed. I thought. So that you can see the passion in him in that, so I was pretty okay with it. I know Mockingbird Lane, Brian Fuller, a few years back, tried to do a more darker tone, but it was a little different. It wasn't like... It was his talent, so it had like some more stuff like that in it. But this was supposed to be Munsters, as you can see here again. Like, pretty much straight up the series, the look, the feel, everything. So that has to be still that kind of more something you can have with family and stuff. So yeah, I was surprised by it. I didn't have any doubt that I got nothing against Rob Zombie. It's just, as a fan of that, I didn't want to see it be ruined. As you can see, like nowadays, everyone did a great job with it. Before we get into that, our buddy over here. Oh, I mean, Igor over here. He really enjoyed it. We got our own little Igor too.
Yep, it's me, Igor. How you doing, everyone? Enjoying it?
What did you think so far?
Well, so far, you act like there's gonna be more.
I don't know. I don't know. I'd kind of like to see him do at least one more.
So
Go on.
Well, if you know anything about me, which you probably don't, I don't like spoilers. So the only thing I already saw was like a couple still images, pictures of just the cast in makeup. I didn't actually watch any trailers or really any of it, anything to spoil the whole
Which is good because a lot of people, were angry at the trailer, and I was like, sure, it wasn't what you're expecting when you saw the trailer, but it's like, what do you expect again? I mean, like, I know a lot of people are like giving this like terrible ratings, but I'm like, I actually enjoy. It's just better than the Munsters Scary Little Christmas. That was garbage, and some other ones there when they tried to bring back the Munsters. But I think they did a damn good job. Everyone involved, I thought.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I thought even though it wasn't like shot in color, I thought they did a good job matching the colors and everything of everyone.
The color is nice. I like how like they said like he had to do that what is that, like oversaturated, something like that, because they wouldn't let him do black and white. But I like the vivid, like over the top kind of colorfulness there. I'm like, if you could, like you said, if you can't do that, do the opposite. And it worked. I mean, I got nothing against seeing the Munsters in color. I mean, when you watch like Munsters Go Home and the Munsters Revenge movies with them, they was in color. So I'm like, I don't know, it worked. I liked all the colors. I think it's fitting for the feel, the time period, what the film was, and for, again, like people were complaining when they saw the trailer. It's like, oh, it looks so cheap, low budget, cheesy, hokey, stuff like that. But it's like, yeah, but then you do realize that was the Munsters. It was like that. So I think it was fitting, even though it looked like that. I'm like, it was fitting for how it looked. And I thought, like, the sets were nice that they had, the costumings were nice. It still looked pretty good.
Well, I agree, and I know some people might say it looks like it's made for TV, but I mean, with the kind of budget they had, I mean, what do you expect?
What they had now, then, with you-know-what over the year, kind of like stuff like that over the years, last couple of years. I'm sure it wasn't easy to get this, but they got it done. They, I think, did an okay job with it. I was very pleased with this. I'm going to keep playing with that, so we'll put that away. But I think they all did a very well job. Sherry did a good job as Lily. She was, I feel like out of all three, though, she might have been just a little bit over the top. Because she was really like, wow, she is really trying to do Yvonne DiCarlo with her, like, oh, well, Grandpa. And it's just she did a great job of mimicking her though.
Not even the mannerisms.
That's what I'm saying. Like everything, you can tell she was trying to mimic it, but which is good and bad. She tried to be like Lily from the show instead of trying to do a little bit of a twist of herself. Even though I think there still was a little bit of that in there. So she was mimicking her, but at the same time, like, spot on. I was like, wow, she did spot on it, so good for her. I was actually okay with that. And then she said a little bit for different. I like how, like, at least in this, she had, like, the whole stop that, type of stuff. They're like, no, he's my man, and that was funny. It took him a while to get there, but I kind of liked how it started. But Jeff as Herman, he wasn't trying to do Fred Gwynn, like his was different. His voice, his mannerism, his personality was a little different. Still dumb, still naive, still kind of that lovableness, but still just a little different. What I liked about it, so he wasn't trying too much to mimic, and he did a great job. He looked really cool. I thought he looked good as his own take on Herman. He looked good. I liked his face and everything. Just worked really well. With the makeup and everything.
Well, yeah, even to his big mouth and big forehead. He looked nice and tall, just like the original.
I mean, holy cow! I mean, that was
still his own.
And again, then I thought the Count, Grandpa Daniel, I liked his look on it. He looked like it. I like how they had the blue, the hair up like that, and I liked how he had the mustache.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, see that again? But he just channeled the original Grandpa. I mean, I thought he did a very good job. You can tell he was really, like, in this. I thought he was, like, really in that role of Grandpa. And I liked his interaction with Herman. I liked all that stuff there. I think he was probably my favorite part of it, because I felt like he really just, like, was like, yeah, I know what to do, and be that character from the series. And he did a great job with an homage to it, but still being a little of his own. And then, of course, again, the rest of them, too, were really good.
Well, yeah. And I feel like the story was actually kind of character-driven.
It was an interesting little story.
I mean,
but, it was interesting.
It was
for what it was.
Character and, comedy-driven. So, I mean, it wasn't like an evil villain or anything like that.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
kind of weird for
there was like, well, it was like the gypsy people were kind of, with the thing there, and then, Lily's, brother and all that. But then kind of Grandpa in a sense.
Well, yeah.
We got to stop this Herman. And then Igor.
Hi, yeah, I really liked Igor in there. Was really awesome. He was really cool in that form, too.
The doctor, which I was like, oh my gosh, yes. That is. I forgot about that. Sylvester McCoy there. I loved him as that. Because some people were like, wait, I thought Igor was a bat. It's like, well, yeah, but I mean, but this is supposed to be before, they get to the house in the movie, the series and stuff. So
basically a prequel story.
Yeah, and because it's like how Herman and Lily meet and stuff like that. And I liked, he was great. He was enjoyable. And he did a lot of stuff. Like, I really like when, spoilers, where he had to travel to America and become a bat. When he's all taking the stuff, he's all, I'm like, wow, he's really just making the goofy faces and mannerisms. He's in it.
It's kind of embarrassing. I didn't realize that he was the bat on the hat. I just thought it was a cool hat.
Well, yeah, then he just comes the bat little Igor. And everything, he was amazing. I'm glad they added him in there. And just like, I liked the guys that put Herman together. It's like, we need why would you want the second smartest mind there? Because I'm still using the first. It's like, he did a great job of doing something. I like his, because normally his roles are, from some Rob Zombie films. This was definitely nice to see them all, and just like, you can tell they were, like, sometimes he was like, isn't he supposed to be breathing something? He's like, no, and it's just like, it was funny. It works. And then the guy from Lost, it's like we thought that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it is. After you look into it, I'm like, no, it looked like it, but then sometimes, maybe because of the hump, I don't know, but something. He was great. I thought they were, and I liked the opening of that. Like, just like, it was a little slow, and it shows off, and it was weird seeing the zombie guy walk, and then he turns around, and you see his face, and then the Munsters title just pops up. It's like, that's a weird time to throw the title. But he looked cool and creepy, and then, oh dear. And they go and get the pieces. He does the one thing, gets the wrong brain, the dumb guy's brain. All the cameos are neat, and I just like that story from there. And then I love the stuff in the background with the little trippy, when she's like this and get the hearts back there,
Yeah.
and then Grandpa, oh no. I loved all that stuff.
Wow.
It was great. And the jokes, I thought, the majority of them, and the some were like, and then maybe a couple of them just like, But I liked a lot of them. There were some neat little things in the background. Nosferatu was cool. So Nosferatu was creepy, weird, and cool. Poor Nosferatu though with the rats. But anyway,
I don't know. I thought the little cameo characters. I even thought the Mummy Cafe looked pretty cool.
yeah, that was cool. I liked a lot of the monsters in it. They even got Uncle Gilbert in there. It was cool. I mean, I knew, but I mean, it was cool seeing Elvira, Cassandra Peterson in there.
Hello there, would you like to go do something? Why, sure. Well, come with me. Oh boy, flap, flap, flap.
Like being the witch, and then Grandpa, and then her like, oh yeah, you can have the house when they get there. You know, the Munster house.
Yep.
And of course, I liked how they came up with what about Herman? Herman, monster? Oh, please, no, Munster, like the cheese. That's like, but hey, it worked.
What?
And him saying being this, saying it, and doing the jokes and stuff. Those were pretty funny. That was pretty interesting. And I liked when, she's like, oh, love at first sight type of thing there. And then she goes to meet him, and he's like, I have to check my schedule. Well, yes. I don't know. I thought it worked. I thought everyone did a nice job. I felt like Rob Zombie. He said he grew up, loved the show. I saw the passion from this passion project of his, basically, is what it was. It turned out very well. And I think everyone seemed to, enjoy it. I mean, there were some interesting shots and just, again, the sets and the choices, and I liked the color, and it fit, like when Herman and her and Lily were dating, and he's with the French outfit, or he's wearing that, swimming looking type thing with the stripes, stuff like that. It fits.
Well, as I've told him before, if you want to watch in black and white, just turn down the black and white.
You had an idea, just do that, and then there you go, black and white. I don't know. I know people were like, enjoyed it, at least because it was through streaming, whatever, but I still probably would have at least liked to have seen it maybe once in theaters. Just to see on a big screen, see how it would have maybe looked different. Maybe it would have looked more the hokey, cheesy, low-budgety type of feel to it on the big screen, but seemed fine watching on a big enough big screen TV with the Blu-ray, so I enjoyed everyone's performances. I enjoyed the odd choice. Of course, Rob Zombie has to get some music and stuff in there. But it fit. I like them doing the I Got You, Babe.
Yep.
And then just, I like when Herman and the Count first meet, and they're shouting at the castle. And it's like, why are you shouting? I thought you liked it. It's like, well, come on in. Thank you! Ooh, that Herman. And then, at the end there, it's like, my favorite son-in-law. It's like... And then there's some little things like that. It was, the little things in the background, like, instead of live nude girls, live dead girls. What was the name of the... what was the name of the place when they went to go? It was like, do drop in. Please, do drop in, but do drop in. Stuff like that. I always enjoy that stuff. But it feels like that, that's how the Munsters would do. It would be that little corniness of it. And that's what's great. I think everyone I liked at the end when he was, I forgot, but gotta mention that, when he was calling for police, Herman, and he was like, Car 54, where are you? And I'm like, you gotta do that, because Car 54, Fred Gwynn starred in that, so that's a nice little reference to that. And I also liked, help me out here.
That's correct.
But everything worked. I liked all the choices, and again, it was so many weird, cool. But I like those type of weird, cool, artsy, weird type of shots and everything. interesting choices throughout the whole thing. I enjoyed it. I was enjoying it from start to end. Wasn't the greatest thing ever. You know, you can't beat the actual Munsters TV series or like Munster Go Home, but they did a great job of this. I enjoyed Mockingbird Lane at the time. I enjoyed this, and then I enjoyed the one I've heard about, another Munsters one that came out that did pretty well for something I think in the 90s. But like a couple of the other ones, no, not that one that went on for 3 seasons, which is weird. I don't know how that happened. The Munsters in the 80s or something. That was like that was weird. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it from start to finish. It was entertaining.
Well, yeah, I think this is you could tell. Personally, I mean that's not gonna please everyone, but I think you could tell this was made by a fan, versus like something Hollywood would just crank out.
Yeah, and especially for nowadays, there was this was just pure, like, hey, this is Munster stuff. It's just gonna be just simple, goofy, funny, weird out there, and it felt like the Munsters to me.
I think it was also a good choice that they didn't just like put it in the now.
Mm-hmm.
The now.
So much there. Oh yeah, with the with that ending there. But yeah, then we get to see Spot. We don't get to see Eddie yet. No mention of Eddie yet, but hopefully they can find a way to do like another. Hopefully he does well, because I wanted to get it, and one of the stores I went to, they were completely out of it. So I'm like, who the hell is wanting this? Because I'm hearing everybody complaining about this movie. But then that's why I don't pay attention. I don't listen to that stuff. Rotten Tomatoes is a bunch of bull crap. Rotten Tomatoes, if you go by Rotten Tomatoes, I think there's something wrong with you. Think for yourself. Like this. I'm not saying telling you, forcing you. I'm just stating I enjoyed it. And for the most part, when we're on talking about something, I want to talk about things I enjoy and stay away from the negative. Unless it was Scream 5.
Yeah.
But that one had to be done. I couldn't hold that one in.
We had to break it down, too, plot by plot.
But, you know, I don't really pay attention. I'm not going to sit there and be like, okay, like a movie critic, a movie reviewer, they're going to like, okay, so they said this, I can't think for myself, I don't like it too. It's like, no, I have to at least go try it. Or if it's something I know for sure I'm definitely not going to be into, guess what I do? I'm not going to watch it. I'm not even going to give it the time of day. You know, so for something like this, as a fan of it, I'm like, you know what, get the Blu-ray. It was a good price. And we did eventually find it, thankfully. So hopefully there's people out there that bought it, they enjoy it. Because, I mean, they took the extra step to actually buy it instead of just matey it or actually have it on the streaming service that it's on. So I'm like, congrats, you own it.
I don't know, I think it's a good addition to a library.
I enjoy it. I like it. I would watch it, you know, again, you know, and probably again. I mean, it's enjoyable. I think everybody involved, it felt really good. I don't know how many times I can repeat that, but I enjoyed it. For me, it's a Chandler out of Friends, so at least somewhere between a 9 and a 10. I really enjoyed it, and none of that stuff with the negativity people complain about, none of that stopped me from, like, oh, people said this, or saying this, and saying this, so it's going to be in my mind as I'm watching it. No, I was in it, hearing the majority of people said it's garbage, and they hate it for whatever reason they hate it for. I don't know. But no, I'm not going to go in there, I'm just going to sit there and go, it's a Munsters movie from Rob Zombie. I'm just going to watch it and take it what it is, and it's all going to be happening if I'm enjoying it, and I enjoyed it.
Well, yeah, as I said, I didn't know what to expect, but I enjoyed it from start to finish. I had no clue what was going to happen next, but I'm glad that they kind of put everything together, at least all the way to the end.
And of course, the ending, you know, they have to end it with, you know, the dun 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 dun, which is like, so they got that in black and white. They get to go through the door like the opening, so I'm like, yay, you knew that was coming, and yeah, good movie. I enjoyed it. It's perfect for, October. It's October. It's perfect for watching, and I think if you're a Rob Zombie fan, I think you can see his work in there, his passion in there. If you like Rob Zombie, and I think if you like the Munsters, like really like the Munsters, I think you'll pretty much be okay with it. I don't see how you can be too negative with it. I mean, I guess you have to be. I don't want to sound like an elitist or a snob or something. I feel like you have to actually be open-minded and actually see it for what it is, watch it with the open mind, and just not listen to other people with their negativity and stuff. And also, you got to be like a Munsters fan. As a Munsters fan, I think this one worked over some of the other ones they tried over the years. So it's a shame they can't, do another one with a bigger budget and see what happens. I don't know.
I don't care if they do the same budget. I just want to see more.
They did pretty well. I thought everyone. Fantastic job. It was entertaining. Laughed, enjoyed it, smiled in the face the whole time. Well done, everybody. I know Rob Zombie, he probably doesn't give a crap or whatever, but all the people that are negative with this Rob Zombie, we're 2 out of. I'm sure there's still a whole probably still thousands that actually enjoyed it, but we're among them. You did. I was weary when I first heard it, like I said at the beginning, but no, you did well. I like I still enjoy the 2007 Halloween, and this is up there with that one for Rob Zombie films. I enjoyed it, so good job.
Well, thanks again. Write another one.
So yeah, thanks for watching. Let us know what you think. Comment, like the video.
Subscribe.
They would like that too, And we'll see you next time. Turn it off now.
Is that what I think it is?
Yes, it is.